All right, I'd like to begin by thanking John Cook. He's in the back of the room. John, if you'd wave, please. John is responsible for Civic Hall here, and thank his staff for opening up this beautiful facility for us this morning. I'd also like to introduce, we have a couple of board members here with us today. Suzanne Darengowski is in the back. Suzanne, thank you for being here. And then also Keith Morey is here. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you being here. And like church, we have some great seats available up here in the front. So if you're looking for a seat, come on down. I see one of our local clergymen coming down here in the front. Now you know what it's like to be on the other end of it, huh? Very good. So I am Todd Terrell, superintendent here at Richmond Community Schools, beginning my 5th year. And we've had 4 very good years and looking forward to another great year coming up. And I appreciate all of you being here this morning. What I'd like to do to begin with is I'd like for you to be able to put a name with a face. So I'm going to ask our administrators if they would to stand and introduce themselves and let you know what building or where they are working, so that way you can understand where they're coming from. So we'll start right up here in the front with my cabinet, which you'll be meeting or hearing more from them in just a little bit. But Jennifer, if you want to start, and then we'll just work our way back down this side and then up this side as we go with our administrators.
I'm Jennifer O'Brien, and I'm the assistant superintendent.
Good morning, I'm Stacy Moss, Chief Resources Officer.
I'm Karen Stout, Chief Financial Officer.
Rod Kudrow, Chief Operations Officer.
Hi, I'm Sheila Hawes, I'm the Director of Exceptional Ed.
I'm Corey Berkeley, the Director of Elementary Education.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Michael Jefferson. I'm Director of Secondary Ed.
Nobody else on this side would like to be an administrator? Okay, good. All right, well, thank you. We appreciate your introductions. So what we'd like to do with you this morning, if you raise your hand, if you haven't received a copy of the annual report, we'd like to have you have that in your hands as we go through that. What we'd like to do is just share some information with you from the different departments, the different areas here at Richmond Community Schools. We pride ourselves on being very resourceful with the resources that are given to us and making the biggest effort that we can for our students. So we put together some information there that kind of lets you know a little bit about who we are. You can see on page 2 inside the pamphlet there some of our student demographics to let you know what is the makeup of our student body. One of the things that we're extremely proud of here, and we work very diligently here in Richmond Community Schools, both at the high school but throughout all of our schools, and we really believe that all of our schools have a direct impact on our graduation rate. As you can see there, last year's graduation rate was 98.2%. And that is very impressive, and we appreciate the work of our teachers as they do that. Over the last 4 years, we've had a graduation rate that has been 95.5% or higher for each of those years. And what I'd like to draw your attention to is, as you look at that, when you look at our free and reduced lunch rate across the page there, it's at 74%. It's actually higher than that. Those are the ones who actually fill out the paperwork and go through that process. And as you can imagine, once our students get to high school, we have a little bit more difficult time of getting students to sign up for that. So we really think it's probably more realistic to be 80+%. And so when you have that correlation between what our at-risk population is and what our graduation rate is, very successful school corporation as far as getting students to where they need to be. And one of the things that we try to do here is to make sure that they can go wherever they need to go to give them opportunities. We try to make it as equitable as possible, providing them with the tools that they will need to stay here in Richmond and be successful citizens here of Wayne County, or if they choose to do other things so that they're in the position to be able to do that. The other thing that I'd like to draw your attention to is our diversity. We are very proud of the diverse experience that we give our students here in Richmond Community Schools. We really think that that's an advantage to them as they go out into the workplace, as they go out to college, to universities, whatever life may have for them. We really believe that the experience that they've had here in Richmond Community Schools has prepared them to have that diverse experience and to be able to move forward and do anything that they want to do as they graduate from high school and then move on into the next stage of their life. One of the things that I want to encourage you to do as we're going through this presentation, if there's something that comes up, a question that you may have at the conclusion as we get towards the end of the time in our remarks here this morning, we're going to open it up for questions. So if you have some questions, please note those, and we'll open it up at that time. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you Stacy Mops, who introduced themselves earlier. Stacy, as of July 1, is our Chief Human Resource Officer and has jumped into the deep end of the pool. And those of you who work with HR, you understand what I'm saying. And Stacy has been here for many years here in Richmond, working as an administrator in our schools, and we are pleased to have him be a part of our cabinet. So, Stacy.
Good morning. Once again, I'm Stacy Mops, Chief Human Resource Officer here at Richmond Community Schools. It's my pleasure to introduce some of the points of pride that are available for you in your brochure on page 3. There are just a few of these points I'm going to hit on. Included in this are some of the course offerings available to students throughout the corporation. These include Project Lead the Way, that has been opened up for kids from students from grade 6 to 12. District-wide coding opportunities for students at all grade levels. As society continues to journey into the digital world, teachers are delivering digital citizenship curriculum. Canvas, which is RCS's learning management system, continues to be a tool with which teachers and students alike are becoming more comfortable. Teachers, through portholes, are creating innovative assignments and information and allowing students then in return to respond with innovative projects. Students in the elementary schools have had an increase of available devices for them through the addition of iPads and laptops in their schools. And of course, students in grades 5 through 12 are one-to-one with laptops. Richmond Community Schools also gives their faculty the opportunity for professional development, many times without ever leaving the corporation boundaries. The 2-day Learning Expo during the summer, I think we just had our 8th one, is a huge asset to Richmond, and many of our teachers are presenters during that conference. We had Dr. Laura Desatel present the effects of trauma on the brain for all of our staff to participate in. We've partnered with the Indiana Department of Education presenting the documentary Resilience, which also discusses the effects of stress can have on the human brain. Teachers from grades K through 12 have received the Orton Gillingham training, which is instruction of multisensory training to improve literacy instruction for their students. Students, teachers, and administrators have presented at the national level in conferences. RCS employee learning days this year, which allowed students to participate in school activities during the school year in lieu of adding days at the end of the year. It's also to note, like I said earlier, that our teachers have become experts in different fields, many times providing the professional development that our teachers are receiving. There have been service learning opportunities for our students, giving them the opportunity to give back to the community, helping them to learn the importance of being a good citizen. Every May, we gather to celebrate with our Excellence in Education Awards. This year, Tricia Peters, an elementary art teacher, was our winner. We also celebrated Support Person of the Year, Friend of Education, and Minister of the Year. But probably the greatest point of pride that Richmond Community Schools has is our students. Faculty, staff, and hopefully the parents observe the growth of our students from August to May, seeing the strides that students have made socially, emotionally, and in the classroom. Thanks for your time, and at this time, we're going to turn it over to Rob Tidrow, Chief Operations Officer.
Thank you, Stacy. Operations. So people ask a lot of times, what does operations do? I oversee the technology department, the food services, maintenance and facilities, safety and security, and transportation. So we want to make sure the kids get to school, they're well fed, they get the technology they need, the buildings around them are safe and secure, and they have the needs in the classroom that they need to learn. A couple of things I wanted to highlight. Stacy covered a few of the technology things specific to teachers and so forth, but we did continue our Power Up one-to-one initiative. This makes it the second year this year with grades 5 through 12 students. All have laptops. They can take them home, use them in the classroom. We expanded that to include additional Chromebooks in our elementary levels. That way, additional carts of Chromebooks are available for our students down there for sharing and learning opportunities. The We Are Richmond e-learning Expo 8. This year, we're the longest running summer e-learning conference for the state of Indiana. We get a grant from the Department of Education to put that on. This year, we brought in another nationally known or internationally known speaker, Adam Welcome. He came in for a keynote and a day of learning as well with workshops. That e-learning experience for our teachers and other teachers around the area is a great opportunity for them to learn about the new ed tech practices, to share. It's a 2-day conference. We have over 35 school districts around the state represented, all the way from Hammond, Indiana, down to Evansville and across the state. We feel really pleased to have that every year. This year we had about 250 attendees come in. This year also marked the 25th anniversary of this facility as a performing arts studio center. Those of us that went to school here back in the 70s, 80s, and so forth, this was the this was a gymnasium at that time. 25 years ago, the community, the school decided to make this a performing arts studio, and this used to be the entryway into the basketball floor. So, the new Earl and President. So, in all, so this marked the 25th anniversary of that renovation. Marked with having the Texas Tenors here for the, I think, 3rd time, and some other performers. This year we have Ronnie Millsap coming in, so we do have some names coming into this building, and we appreciate Mr. John Cook making sure that this is always in great shape. Food service area, we feed over 1 million meals a year. All of our students get free meals through the DOE. This summer, we introduced a new program with the RCS food truck that goes around to every day, Monday through Friday, hits 2 of our city parks, thanks to the mayor and his team to allow this. We hit the Glen Miller Park every day, and then we go to Clear Creek or the West Side Lions and so forth. And we have a feeding program for kids. Anyone under the age of 18 can walk up and get a free meal. In the month of June, we had over 800 lunches served, and that's about 20 days. So that's 800 lunches that maybe those kids would not have had. So we're very lucky to have that. Maggie LaRue is the coordinator for that. She keeps that going. On the facilities side, we're always improving our facilities, always adding to them. This year, we went through and improving 7 of our buildings' entrances to ensure that students are as secure as possible. Allows for different sign-in procedures where we can have parents and visitors come into the front office and not be directly connected to the students yet until they're buzzed through from the front office. Those are being worked on and finished up right now. I added an entry here. We've also replaced over 400 lights in the Tiernan Center that were here at the beginning of Tiernan Center, 1984, and replaced them with about 200 LED lights that should help the lumosity as well as the expense of that area, as well as upgrading the sound system in Tiernan Center and Live Oak Field. And we're also doing some renovations directly to our media centers in Test and Dennis to upgrade some of the painting and the flooring and some of the furniture to allow a little more flexible learning environments for our students. And we look forward to continuing all those practices throughout the year. So next is Assistant Superintendent Jennifer O'Brien. Thank you.
Thanks. I have a few numbers that I'd like to share with you in regards to the great things that are happening and available at Richmond High School. I'm not going to read through all the numbers, but if you would take a moment at some point and look at page 6, and you'll find some really great facts. I would like to highlight that we did have 8 high school seniors that completed this year's Belden Workforce Training Program, and we already have 12 students committed for next year's training. So that's a great partnership, and we're excited about that opportunity for students. There are great things happening not only at Richmond High School, but across the district. Social emotional learning was a focus this year. We wanted to learn more about it. As Mr. Mops mentioned, Dr. Lori Desautels was the keynote speaker at our district-wide Professional Development Day in January. We had a group of educators that attended the first Indiana School Mental Health Initiative Whole Child Summit, and they introduced social emotional learning competencies and offered sessions on how to implement it in your district. Richmond High School was recognized during Dr. Desautels' presentation for the work that they have done following her visit from the Professional Development Day in January. We also had a least restrictive environment committee that worked throughout the school year to ensure that students are being served in their least restrictive environment. The group was able to attend a Focus on Inclusion conference, and they compiled a tiered chart with all of the services Richmond Community Schools offers. We offered all intermediate students an opportunity to take a STEM course this past school year. Project Lead the Way is a robust science or STEM curriculum that can be offered in students in grades preschool through 12th grade. The courses at the intermediate school included app creators, design and modeling, and medical detectives. Richmond High School also offered a pilot course named Innovation and Open Source Learning. Students enrolled in this course, they engaged in projects as individuals or in a group of 2 to 3 students. Students submitted a written proposal and sought out mentors to support them in their learning and project development. The purpose of the course is to supply students with experiences and guide them towards developing new ways of thinking. Students utilized a process to identify problems and then find opportunities that match their own interests and passions to help solve the problems that have been identified. The essential skill development of students included collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity, resilience, and problem solving. In May, the Department of Education partnered with Richmond Community Schools, presenting the documentary Resilience. We had several community partners to join the effort. They set up tables in the lobby to help promote summer opportunities available to our students. Highlights in the elementary included the use of leveled literacy intervention to support struggling readers, the adoption and arrival of our new Fountas and Pinnell classroom reading materials, and positive impact of positive behavior intervention and support, known as PBIS, and the introduction of the social and emotional learning strategies. New and exciting things will continue this year. We have a couple things that we're excited about. One, Vale Elementary attended training this summer for Leader in Me, and they are ready to implement what they've learned this school year. They are very, very excited about the opportunity. Leader in Me is a model and process that helps boost youth leadership development with proven teaching methods, classroom techniques, and social emotional learning systems. We have again partnered with Dr. Lori Desautels to create a social and emotional learning cadre. She's going to be with us throughout the school year, providing professional development to our staff. We're also very excited about our new reading adoption. This year, we're also adding a robotics and computer science in the Innovation and Makers course. And last but not least, if you hear a buzzing sound or something that flies very close to your head, don't worry, it's just probably part of our new drone club that will be offered at each of our schools this year. So at this time, I would like to introduce Karen Scalf, Chief Financial Officer. I'm looking at her.
That's all right. Finance has a little bit of everything, I think. Today I would be remiss not to say a little bit about our current financial situation, and that is that we are stable. We are in a positive cash position. We're able to do great things for our kids, and that's something that can't be said everywhere in our state these days, so I'm very proud of that. But today I get to talk about my other passion, and that is our vision. So a king wrote, in the book of Proverbs, where there is no vision, the people perish. This man was once a boy, the son of a shepherd, who grew up to become a husband, a father, a builder, a tradesman, and an international politician, as well as a published author. Today, we would call him successful, we would call him accomplished, and it's something that we would look for each of our students. But above all of this, he was known for his wisdom. I can understand that. This statement is very true. It's very simple and it's very powerful. He understood that vision holds the key to our future. And without it, there really is no future. Here at Richmond Community Schools, our vision drives all that we are. We are a community. We are a fellowship of educators, students, custodians, volunteers, athletes, mentors, healthcare providers, nutritionists, counselors, and you, along with us, our community partners. We all share a common goal, a common vision, and that is our future. Our vision states that we are a community nurturing mind, body, and spirit to prepare students for lives of choice, purpose, and service. You see our vision in our students. You'll see them about town, learning in very different ways. They are active members of our community. They visit with alumni. They work job study programs. They intern at area businesses. They participate in vocational coursework, in higher education, and they volunteer their services for neighborhood cleanup days, at our parks, or even with Habitat for Humanity. You see our students learning about choice, you see them learning about purpose, and you see them learning about service. You will see them playing music, working after-school jobs, creating art, attending college classes in high school, and enjoying our community events. You see our vision coming to life because we are Richmond. We all are Richmond. The definition of vision is not only the ability to see, but also the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. The dictionary says that. To plan the future with imagination, to plan the future with wisdom, vision. Today, you've listened to numerous examples of our vision at work this past year. At RCS, let's not forget that vision is not about the past. It's vital to our future. So this means we are not even close to finished. We will plan our future with imagination for our students. We will plan our future with wisdom for our students. We will continue to provide them with choice in their academics and extracurricular activities, choices not available at any other school in our county. We will continue to provide learning opportunities outside the brick and mortar classroom with field trips, internships, and service learning throughout our community, throughout our county, throughout our nation, and even our world. Our vision is for the future of our community because that's who we are. We are Richmond Community Schools, and we are all Richmond. As we look ahead to this upcoming year, we invite you to continue to be a part of our community. We invite you to take a look at our events. You'll see just a few listed in your newsletter. Come, be a part. We would love to have you. There is something truly for everyone at Richmond Community Schools. Students, community members, parents, faculty, everybody. We invite you to join us, imagine with us, and vision with us. Come be a part of all the things we have going at Richmond Community Schools. And if you can't be a part at least follow us. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Stop by our buildings and volunteer, because there are not enough volunteers in any school building for the number of kids that we have. And you truly can be a part of us. We need you. You need us. We are a community. Whatever your vision, we are here. We are all Richmond, and we're Richmond Community Schools. Doctor's here.
Okay, so just a few things that I want to draw your attention to before we go into our question and answer time, if there are any burning questions out there. I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of events. The first one is our homecoming parade, which will be September 18th. And if you have been to a homecoming parade here in Richmond, you know that it is one of the most attended events in our city, and we are so thrilled with that. It's amazing to see all the different groups come together to have floats in our parade, but then also the community as they come and line the streets. And I'm pretty sure that that is mainly for all of the candy that is thrown from the fire trucks and cars as we go through. But it's a great event, and we would welcome you to be involved with that as well. Another thing, this past year we worked and partnered with our realtors here in Wayne County and held a special event here at the high school where we brought them in the spring and had a tour of the high school, provided lunch for them. Great opportunity to hear from our kids so they could explain to you what they are doing, the experiences they're having. The year before that, we had that event with our chamber partners, and we will be doing that again this year. We're rotating, and this year will be with our chamber partners. So if you are interested in being a part of that, I encourage you, being a board member of our Wayne County Chamber, to get involved with them and be a part of that event as well. One of the things that we build everything that we do here in Richmond Community Schools upon, and that is the support, the partnerships that we have that are represented in this room. Partnerships at various levels, from our first responders that are here. We are so pleased with the support that we get, both from Sheriff Branham and Chief Redder. I flipped that one. Chief Branham and Sheriff Redder. There may be days where they're both bald today, and so they threw me for a loop there. But the amount of time that they spend in our buildings with their officers and the support that they give is second to none, and we appreciate them so much. Also, our higher ed institutions here in Richmond. Those of you who have been around Richmond for a while, you know that we are blessed to have as many different institutions as we have here, and we have partnerships with each and every one of them. And our kids are on their campuses, they're in our campuses weekly, if not daily. The businesses that are represented, the Chamber, the Wayne County Foundation, again, the additional things that we're able to offer our kids are because of the partnerships with them. Our local churches, the Richmond Area Ministerial Association is represented here today as well. And again, the way that they step up and help support our students in good times and in bad, and the things that they do for us, the support is amazing. Our youth organizations and partners, with the different things that they provide for our kids. As you look at that at-risk population that I mentioned earlier, so many of our kids, they don't go home right after school. They go to different opportunities and programs in the evenings, and again, that plays such a huge role. Also, our political partners here, both at the local level, the state level, and even the federal level. Obviously, if you pay attention, you know that politics can be kind of a challenging thing at times, but I really feel like here in Wayne County and in Richmond, we're really looking at what is best for our kids, and we work very diligently to make sure that that happens. And then, of course, our media partners and the opportunities that we have there with getting information out to our students, to our stakeholders here within Richmond and Wayne County. And as Karen mentioned, I want to draw your attention again to the last page. If you don't, please consider following us on social media. We have the largest Facebook presence in the entire state for a K-12 corporation, and we're very proud of that. We also, at the national level, received an honorable mention for our media presence and the work that we have done on social media. We do a thing called Super Things in RCS monthly, We come out with a different short video that's on YouTube, and you can watch for the release on that on both Twitter and Facebook, and see the different things that are happening here. And we try to really focus on different things that are going on across our corporation, from the classrooms to extracurriculars to creative programs that we have here. So again, we are Richmond, and we work very diligently to continue to provide opportunities for our kids, opportunities for our teachers and administrators and staff members. And we really look at everybody that works here in Richmond. And as you look at those numbers that were mentioned earlier in the program, the number of staff members that we have here throughout Richmond Community Schools, we look at all of our staff members as being educators, because it's not just the teachers who teach. It's not they are in the classroom and they're responsible for the content of the courses, but so many of our other employees who aren't necessarily teachers have direct impacts for our students and reach them where they're at. And that's the key, is really trying to make that connection with each and every student and find out who in our buildings is reaching out to them, so that we can have that constant connection with them. So as we do that, one of the things that we feel is really important is staying in touch with our community, hearing from you, so that we can continue to provide citizens for our area and to go forward wherever they want to be after high school. And so at this time, I'm just going to open up the floor. If there are any questions that you may have, anything that you would like to ask, or if we don't have information that we can get for you right now, we will definitely make sure that we get back in touch with you as soon as possible with that. Paul.
Other than funding, what are the two biggest challenges that you're going to be facing this year, and how are you going to overcome those?
Sure. So for those in the back who may not have heard, Paul's question was, other than funding, which is always a challenge, what are the two biggest challenges that we face here coming up in this school year? And I would tell you the first challenge that we face is meeting the needs of our students. We have an ever-changing demographic. We have many students who come to school with all kinds of challenges that they're facing, and is really figuring out, how do we meet those needs? How do we make it so that they're ready to sit in the classroom like every other student who may be in that classroom, and can put aside the things that are going on in their lives, so that while they're here they can focus and have their needs met, and continue to do that while making sure that we guarantee that the curriculum is being provided to them and meeting them at their level. So I would say that that is our greatest challenge that we're facing this year. The second challenge is one that is continual in our ever-changing society that we live in today, and that is finding ways to meet the needs of the future generation of workers. People in this room could speak to this better than I, but we know that the jobs that are coming in the next 10, 15 years, that over 60% of them haven't even been created yet. And so it's really figuring out what is the literacy that we need to have for our students, so that they can go out and meet the challenges that the business community is facing. And so realistically, literacy for the 21st century as we move forward is not so much reading as it is being able to learn a skill and unlearn a skill and move on to the next challenge that is faced by the business world that is out there. So those are our two biggest challenges. Yes, sir.
Todd, with respect to your first challenge on meeting the needs, do you still work with communities and schools? And so what kind of support do they provide?
Sure.
RCS?
So the question is, communities and schools, where's the partnership with them? How does that continue? Yes, we still have a very strong relationship with community schools, and they are in all of our buildings. We've actually expanded some of to make sure that all of our buildings are receiving services with them. And what they do is they really come alongside and provide our students, our principals, with the support that they need. For instance, if a student comes in and they've been displaced from their home, they'll work with them. If they need clothes, if they need different resources, they help put them in touch with where they can do that. I might give a little plug here. For those of you that are cleaning out garages, I know I was speaking with someone earlier who was planning on doing that when the temperature cooled down a little bit. Anything that you donate to Goodwill, if you ask them to give the credit to communities and schools for every bag that you donate, they give, I think it's a $5 voucher at Goodwill store, and they can go in there and use that on whatever they need. Great partnership. the amount of students and families who have received that help has just been phenomenal over the last couple of years. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I know with the chamber, we have benefited from having your students as interns in our office, and we love that. How many interns, and if you don't know the number, that's okay, but how many interns approximately are you placing in businesses in the community? And is that something that you're looking to expand and need more volunteers for?
So the question was regarding interns and opportunities for our students in the business community. We have at least one, I think, that has been, maybe a couple of students who have been at the chamber this calendar year. And I am going to put Ray Wolpe and Rusty Hensley on the spot here and ask them if they can kind of give us an idea. Rusty?
Ray pointed right back.
It all flows downhill.
Currently in our internship program, we have 20 signed up next year will be going out in the community. Also in our co-op program of students going out to work, we have about 45 signed up. And then through our trades, we will place probably 10 to 15 this year. So we have numerous students, they're all seniors that are going out. So we're excited, we value the partnerships we have.
And we'd love to have more opportunities for our students. But Rusty, one more thing before you sit down to put you on the spot. How many of our students that graduated this past year went through the Career Center, valedictorians? You had a number there that was amazing.
5 of them. How many total we have? 10. I think we had 5 or 6 of them overall.
Of the valedictorians went through the Career Center.
Yes.
So a lot of great opportunities out there for them. Thank you. You may have seen we just had 52 students, I believe it was, come back from a trip in Europe as part of our high school program. One of our board members, Keith Morey in the back there, was able to go to Europe and said that he was wore out when he got back and had to take a vacation, I believe it was. Yes. Ray?
I want to thank Scott and Proctor, Scott's sitting right in front of me, Al Iden, and thank him for the wonderful article that he did on our teacher, Heidi Hisrich, the chaperones, and the 52 students that went to Europe. We've not had a group of students travel to Europe for a long, long, long time. So thanks to Scott. And not only did he do an article on our Europe trip, but he also did one on our new AV trip. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you. Other questions or comments? All right, if not, I want to thank all of you for being here. This is by far the largest group that we've had in the last 4 years with our State of the Schools address, and we appreciate you. In my opinion, it really speaks well of the partnerships that we have with so many different groups here across our community, and that is one of my goals, is to make sure that we continue to have those partnerships and relationships with you. Roscoe's has agreed to be here for the next hour and a half. No, they haven't. For a little bit longer, providing coffees and specialty drinks in the back. We appreciate Zach and his team being here with us today and providing that for us. So again, thank you for being here. We appreciate all of you, and we look forward to working with you throughout the next school year. Thank you.